Oh hey, and welcome back to my channel all about children's behaviour, mental health and wellbeing. In this week's video we're going to be unpicking why our children's behaviour drives us mad and what we can do about it. I often have other people comment on my children's behaviour. This might be friends or strangers, and they say things like, oh, they're so calm, aren't they? Or your two are always so good and well behaved. Now, before you switch this video off and decide that I'm really annoying, I want you to think about something. Do you see 100% of someone else's life? No, you see a fraction. Chances are you don't see the battles that your friends are having when they're having to wash their child's hair, or the meltdowns that their toddler is having when they want to wear their Fireman Sam costume to bed. So, full disclosure, all children have their moments. It's not just yours, it's not just your family. But there is a reason why some parents find their children's behaviour easier than others. It's not magic, it's strategy. So why do children behave like they do? Well, simply put, children behave like they do because they're children. It's not because they're naughty or rude or disobedient, but you'll be forgiven for thinking that. It's quite often what society thinks of our children. If you really want to understand why your child behaves like they do, keep watching. Now, most of us have been brought up to believe that tantrums are attention seeking and that shouting and disobedience only happens to out of control kids with out of control parents. Have you ever been in a situation where everyone else's children are sitting nicely but your child is going wild and you feel like everyone's looking at you? It's easy to worry that people think you've got no control, but quite often that isn't what we're thinking. Children behave like children for all sorts of reasons. It could be tiredness, hunger, boredom, the list goes on and on. And often they don't realise they're doing it, but each bout of behaviour is them trying to communicate something with you as their safe adult. When our children misbehave, they do so because they need to let out these feelings and emotions, and quite simply because this is how children communicate with those people that really love and care for them. Now, I'm not saying that all behaviour is acceptable or that as adults we shouldn't step in and help them. We absolutely should. But we have to understand where the behaviour is coming from in the first place. So next time a situation occurs, try to view it from your child's point of view and, ask yourself, what are all of the possible reasons why my child could be behaving in this way? Our behaviour impacts our children's behaviour. If your child shouts all the time, then there could be several reasons why this is happening. Either you shout, whether you realise it or not, maybe they need their hearing checked, or it could just be that they're excited or scared, cross because they're a child. The list again goes on. If you find though that you're feeling triggered by their shouting, think about how you were treated as a child if you were shouting. Perhaps that was a side of you that you had to kind of keep in as your adults would have told you off for it. Quite often we react to our children's behaviour because of the way we were reacted to. And maybe you even feel like your child's manipulating you with their behaviour. Maybe someone else has said that to you. We're our children's first role models, and sometimes we don't notice how our behaviour actually rubs off on them and how our behaviour can actually completely unintentionally cause the exact behaviour we don't want to see. How many things do we ask of our children that we don't actually model ourselves? And I'll give you a few examples. Number one, saying no. Have you ever heard yourself or someone else say, I've said no and that's the end of it? Yet, when our children say no to us, it doesn't mean they always get their way. For example, when you're trying to put their seatbelt on in the car, legally and of course for safety, they must wear a seatbelt. But they don't necessarily know or understand that. So what our children see is them saying no to something and it being disregarded. The thing they're saying no to happens anyway. Yet when we say no, they're supposed to immediately accept it. Oh, mummy said no. Oh yeah, daddy said no, so that's it. It's not likely. Not sharing is another example. Imagine you're writing an email on your phone and you've been working on it for a while, but then your partner says, you need to share your phone. You've had a long turn and your son wants to play with it now. I know it's yours, but they did say please and hurry up because you can have it back when they're done. Again, it just doesn't happen, does it? Yet we repeatedly ask our children to do this and then wonder why they blow up. Not compromising is another one. If I had a penny for every time I've heard an adult say, well, because I said so, I'd be really rich. But to a child, sometimes parenting can look pretty top heavy with adults telling them what to do without them having any real say. So where possible, try to include your child with any decisions you're making, or give them, let them have their opinion, let them share it. This way, when there's a situation that you absolutely cannot compromise on, it will be easier for your child to accept. Nagging. Nagging, our children often don't hear it, but worse than that, it can sound like whinging. Another thing that most adults wouldn't think twice about telling their child off for. Stop whinging, stop going on. Yet they hear us nag. So how do we improve their behaviour? The consequences and boundaries we give our children help to shape their understanding of the world. But this means we have to actually put those boundaries in place. Now, we shouldn't overcomplicate this or overthink it, but we do need to make sure our expectations are realistic of our child's age and stage. Our children are not ours to control, but we can coach them and support them. And I cover this in my listening and behaviour module, if you do that again. In this training, we cover how our children's brains differ from ours and why this impacts their behaviour. We also talk about why some children's behaviour is worse than others, and I will give you all of the tips that you're going to need to improve their behaviour right from the start and as they grow. I popped the link to this training and a discount code for it in the description of this video. Also in the description, you'll find a link to my free mini module all about play. And it's about how we can use play as kind of our superpower for parenting. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel. I'm not really sure which side the button's on, but hit the bell, and this way you won't miss any of my videos. There's a new one every Friday. If you've got any questions about what I've talked about in this video or anything you want to see in future videos, please pop it in the comments below and I'll get back to you. And I'll see you next week. Bye!